Hello, parents and guardians. Thank you for checking out the 2017-2018 Bailey Middle School Language Arts Curriculum Overview for standard courses. This is Dan McDermott, 8th grade language arts teacher. I have met with all the other language arts teachers and we discussed what we wanted your child's curriculum night to include. So this is just an overview of what you can expect this year in 8th grade language arts for standard courses. Thank you. To begin the year, we will be using our Springboard, and Springboard is in lieu of a traditional textbook. The Springboard has a lot of great resources. We will use it when it's necessary, and it will really supplement a lot of what we discuss in class so that students get what they need from short stories, from poetry, and from other pieces of literature. Unit 1, the challenge of heroism. Looking at a hero, what it takes to be a hero. What does a hero do? A hero helps other people. We will look at the hero's journey that a hero goes through. We will analyze different heroes. Then your child will create their own hero. Your child's hero will go through the hero's journey, follow these 12 steps, and your child will, in the end, make a graphic novel, and your child will create a written story that follows these steps that's very detailed for a hero. When we're through with that, our first novel for the year will be The Outsiders. Many of you are probably familiar with it. We'll read this novel together in class, discuss it, break it down, and look at the different aspects of heroism, social issues, and everything else that comes with The Outsiders. You need to have this book by mid-October, please. Unit 2, The Challenge of Utopia. Can a perfect society truly be attained? Or does trying to attain or create a perfect society in turn then create a dystopia? That is what Unit 2 will be, looking at that perfect world. Can that perfect world even exist? We will use Springboard, we'll use other short stories, we'll use poetry, and we'll really get into that question of what is an ideal place to live in. We will read The Giver for standard courses. Some of you are probably familiar with The Giver. Some students have seen it, but most have not. The Giver really looks at what Hollywood's version is, and once we watch the movie, after we read the book, but looking at Utopia and some of its failures as well. Unit 3, the challenge to make a difference. This has to do with how we can make an impact in our world, looking at our world around us. What can we do to really put our stamp on society? What can students' roles be? How can we work with other people? Going back to Unit 3, students will make a TED Talk. Many of you are probably familiar with TED Talks. A TED Talk looks at the impact of the world, and students will make a TED Talk on a social justice issue that they feel like needs to have more attention to and really may have been overlooked. Moving on to some of our grammar, Giggles in the Middle. Giggles in the Middle is a book that presents grammar and vocabulary. This is where your students will get their vocabulary for the year. They'll have vocabulary quizzes usually every 2 weeks. We'll use the grammar in class. We'll read the stories. Students will then be expected to understand the words that come from Giggles in the Middle, and this is used across the grade level. So that really hits on vocabulary and grammar. You can read on the bottom there the different 5 genres that we look at: fiction, nonfiction, poetry, drama, and media. We really look at using all of those throughout the school year. Something else with media and current events is our Article of the Week. Article of the Week is used to keep kids alight on what is happening around the world and to figure out, hey, I need to know what's going on globally and not just in my neck of the woods. So that is a written interaction, annotation, and discussion in class. At the bottom, you can see the narrative, persuasive, and expository writing that we will do. For each of these, the narrative is the hero's journey. The persuasive writing is the compare and contrast essay that we'll do. Expository is the TED Talk. Thank you for checking this out, and contact myself, Ms. Thomas, Mr. Paul, Ms. Kincaid, or Ms. Peck with any other questions. Appreciate it.